For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Legal Live is brought to you by Farah and Farah.
The comments and opinions expressed on this radio program do not constitute legal advice and do not create an attorney-client relationship. If you have a legal problem, a formal consultation will be required outside of this radio program.
This is Legal Live with Eddie and Chuck Farah. They're talking the latest legal news and answering your questions. To call Legal Live and ask Eddie and Chuck a question, grab your phone and dial 855-765-1045. That's 855-765-1045.
Welcome. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. Feel free to give us a call today. We are live in studio, and our number is 855-765-1045. I'm your host, Sheifalika, and I'm joined today by Eddie Farah. Happy belated birthday, Eddie. How are you?
I feel like I'm really in my declining years now.
Oh, how dare you? I think you're reaching...
Literally, I've been declining for a long time, but it's just speeding up.
Well, when you reach the mountaintop, you're still got a great view. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I hope you're right, man. We'll find out.
Well, it's so good to be back in studio.
I'm holding up, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you are. Happy 2024. I'm so glad to be back in studio with you.
It's good to be back in the studio. I took a big break. Too many things happening, you know.
Well, you know
we
what?
got a big family. Things are happening, you know, all the time.
You do have a big family.
Yeah. And which is good. We're having fun. But it's good to be back in the studio again, kicking off another year. And it's good to get back talking with Legal Live because we love you live here at WOKV.
We really do. We really do.
Nothing like the liveness.
That's true.
Okay, but I'm going to talk. I got things to talk about. I like to talk about things that come up at the office, you know, that I think are relevant and that can maybe help. But, of course, your phone calls are the priority. And we will take your phone calls and try to get you an answer to your legal question. I know we had some substitutes last week. They enjoyed it.
They did. Yeah, we had the B team, but the A team's back.
Yeah, the B team. Yeah, I know they were. I could tell. But that's all right. They'll learn. Great. They'll learn. It takes about 20 years, believe me. That's how long it's taken me. But anyway, okay, let's talk about something that's happened this week in the office, which really is relevant. I think people need to know it. You know, we had a client involved in an automobile accident. His car needed to be repaired. And he had waited a few days to come to us, but the insurance company kept pressuring him to go to a preferred body shop chosen by the insurance company. And he goes, well, I have a dealership. I kind of want to take it to the dealer's body shop. And the insurance company kept putting pressure on him to take it to their body shop because they go, and the argument they used or the selling point was, if you come to the insurance company body shop, we're going to guarantee the work. You don't have to worry about it. And then he came to us. I said, well, that's ridiculous. What these insurance companies do is that they go out and they bid out their body shop to the lowest bidder. So they go to all these body shops and they tell these body shops, if we bring you all of our business, what are you going to charge us per hour or whatever to do the work? So the lowest bidder gets the job. And you know what that means? The lowest bidder does the cheapest work. I mean,
you get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're under pressure because they're the low bidder. They can't pay their people as much. Who knows how they're doing the work? What kind of workmanship's involved? So, but the point is, and the fact is, you can take the car to where you want it repaired. They cannot tell you where to take your car to have it repaired. So, don't fall into that trap. If you're involved in an accident, whether you're hurt or not, and your car's got to be repaired, you select the body shop you're comfortable with. I'm not saying, you can take it to the insurance company body shop, but our experience has been you don't get the quality of care as a dealership body shop or somebody that's well known here in the community, because again, you're getting you're getting a body shop that has bid out that job, and they're getting paid less than the regular body shop, and you're not going to get the same standard of work. So I'll leave it at that.
I think that's a really good point to bring up. And is it true that these body shops that the insurance company recommend, that they have like a special behind-the-scenes deal with the insurance company?
It's a bidding process. The insurance companies go to all the body shops. Okay, let's say it's Progressive. Progressive says, okay, you want all our body work, bid it out. Here's what you're going to charge per hour, and whatever basis they use to charge. And so they bid it out. And so the lowest, just like any other deal, the lowest bidder gets the job. And so if you got the lowest bidder, that means they're probably paying their people less. They're getting less experienced people working on your car, and you know what the end result is.
And you want somebody that's got your car's best interest at heart, not the insurance company.
So pick your own body shop. There are a lot of good ones in Jacksonville, and go with that. That way, and they're going to warranty it too. It's not like you're giving up a warranty. So anyway,
nice. Well, we do have a caller on the line. Let's dive right in.
Let's jump right in.
James from Orange Park, how's it going? You've got a follow-up question on solar panels. Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, I did call in a while back. You may remember me.
I do remember.
I had a very large solar company come out and install my system. It failed profusely. I had a Tesla power battery backup. That system failed the first power outage, and it was just a real mess. So in my contract, it stated that if the system is incomplete, that they have to make payments on the note that I borrowed the money to have it installed. Well, they made 18 payments before they got it corrected. And they tried to bail out of everything, including getting the problems corrected. So I took matters into my hand and I sent a demand letter stating the problems and what needed to be done, and as quickly as possible. And I ended up having to go to the building department electrical division in Clay County, and I also had to go to the licensing bureau and file a complaint. And that worked out quite well for me. They went to work right away, and they gave him a deadline of 18 months from the start of the install, or they were going to pull his license.
Wow.
Whoa.
And I got everything corrected.
Wow.
Without spending more than a consultation with my attorney.
Wow.
Congratulations, James.
James, that's really cool. That's really cool.
It was brutal. You know, my wife wanted to give up. It was a $53,000 install.
That's a lot of money. That's a huge.
It's a lot of money. But I got a zero bill. You know, I wanted to hedge inflation with my retirement, and I wanted a zero bill. I didn't want to pay an electric bill the rest of my life. And,
That's amazing.
I have that now.
Well, James,
and I have backup power too.
You know what? That's a success story that should inspire other people to take matters into their own hands.
And not give up.
And not give up. Don't back down, which you didn't back down. You brought up a good point. I'm going to get into it in a second about it's sort of related to what you did, but that's a great outcome, and I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it, and I felt compelled to call because it was brutal. 18 months is a long time to have to wait for justice, right?
It is.
And sometimes you got to take the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to persist. You got to do what's right because it's an integrity issue. There's a lot of things involved that they could have just taken the bull by the horns and done it and taken care of it. But they knew that they could probably skirt out of the word. And if you persist and you go to the right people, you can get things done.
Yes, sure can.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a definition of
Made
perseverance.
Made my day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in and letting us know how it worked out for you.
I hope everybody heard that today, that story. We should let's record it. Is today's show recorded?
Absolutely it is.
Yeah,
it'll be on our podcast.
We need to play James over and over again, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. It was brutal, but it was worth it.
Yeah, man, you did it.
You did it.
And I'm going to bring up something, a follow up on that in a second for people who aren't as persevering as you.
Yeah.
But
It's hard.
he touched on something that I want to get into after the break. It
Yeah.
looks like.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Long-time listener. I appreciate the show, and you
Yeah.
guys do a wonderful job. Have a great day.
You do a
Thank
wonderful
you,
job,
James.
James.
Thank you,
I need
James.
to hire
Congratulations.
You, man. You need to go get a law degree, this guy.
I'm giving you a round
That's the
of
kind of
applause.
lawyer you want on your side, a guy that doesn't back down.
That's right. That's the
Needs to go to law
perseverance
school. It's
and
not too
integrity.
late to go to law. There's a law school in Jacksonville now, James. You're retired. You ought to go. JU has opened up a law school.
That's
Go check it out.
true. That's true. All right. Thank you so much for calling in, James. That just put a huge smile on me and Eddie's face.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a break coming up right now, and we'll be back with more callers. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. Our phone lines are open. Give us a call, 855-765-1045. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. We've got our open call lines available for you if you have any legal questions. We love hearing from you, and our number is 855-765-1045. All right, Eddie, we've got another caller on the line. You want to check it out?
Let's take it.
All right, Chris from Yulee. You've got some home insurance issues. What's going on, Chris?
So I had a microburst happen on my property. It's a rental property, and the insurance originally came back and said $22,000 worth of damage. Now they claim it's a cash policy, not a replacement. So after depreciation, they said $13,500. When you go to their website, they have several things to click on your policy. When you click on the status or the what it is, it says replacement, but that policy number is not attached to that. But it's kind of hard to explain, but basically the way I'm looking at my website, it's telling me it's a replacement policy, not a cash, but they're claiming it's cash.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. We do, we have we can probably give you some advice on that because we have a whole department that deals with that type of issue. But you're right. If the policy is a cash, that's why you want to think about it. When you buy homeowners insurance, you want replacement value, not cash value, because they'll depreciate the item and you just get what it's worth at the time it's destroyed. But a replacement, they got to pay what it costs to replace it. It's a big difference. Here's another, what is it, 10 grand or something?
Yeah.
22, yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, it's a lot. So what I tell you, Chris, if you want to leave your phone number, we have an attorney in the office that can talk to you about that.
Oh, great.
And he handles that sort of thing. He can he understands all the I'm a personal injury guy, but he handles all the property damage, and he knows the ins and outs of those policies and so forth.
That's
and he
sounds
can
good.
advise you of it. His name is Andreas, and I'll forward your information over to him on Monday, and you'll be able to he'll be in contact with you.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
Thank
Stay
you.
on the line.
But Chris brings up a good point. When you buy your homeowners, they're gonna you go to different agents, or you try to buy a homeowner's policy. You want to, you start comparing pricing. You also want to compare coverage. I mean, are you going to cover me for the replacement value of what I lose, like what I paid for it, what the retail value is, or what it's worth at the time that it's destroyed? And that could be a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
A huge difference. I mean, a couch that you paid, $3,000 for, maybe worth $200 5 years down the road.
Right.
They're going to pay you the $200. But if it's a replacement value, they're going to pay you the $3,000 that it costs to replace. And heck, the couch may be worth more than $3,000. Maybe you can't find that couch for $3,000. Maybe it's a $4,000 couch. They're going to pay you that $4,000. You don't want to depreciate the cash value of your item.
That's a good point. I hadn't realized that there was even a difference in the contract.
Big difference.
You have to look closely.
It's all in the contract, and like Chris says, they're hard to understand, but we've got somebody that can do that for them.
Yeah, Mr. Studi is so amazing.
Yeah,
Andreas
he's helped you before.
Great.
I think he's helped Sheifalika before.
He has helped me. I had him check on a issue because I had a burst pipe about 3 years ago.
Yes, you did.
And we had to wait about 2 years for that litigation to come through and be finalized, and we won our settlement. But I was struggling to be to be strong enough to make it.
Yeah,
and he looked at our lawsuit, and he said, yeah, you're on track. You're doing great.
Yeah, he's working on something for me, too, for some wind damage.
Oh, no.
They didn't want to pay, but he was he's coming through. I haven't got my money yet, but I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah, they messed with the wrong person. That insurance company should have Googled you.
But Chris, leave your number. We'll be in touch.
That's right. Our producer, Daniel, will take your number. And we've got another caller, actually, on the line that just came in.
Oh, yeah.
Al from Arlington. You have a tribute.
Oh,
Now, I'm interested in this.
I have a tribute, too. I know. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
We
Al.
can talk about this forever.
Hey, thank you for what you do for the community.
Oh, thank you, Al. I mean, I think you want to talk about one of my old friends, or somebody that a friend and just somebody that's really done so much for the little guy, Rosemary Furman.
And that's why I'm calling.
And, we had a tribute for her years ago. We had a thing downtown to commemorate what she did. So.
Well, tell our listeners who may not know.
A lot of people don't know Rosemary Furman. Do you want to talk about it now, or do you want me to do it?
You go ahead and do it, and I wanted to know, how can I get a review of the documentary or the film that was put out?
I never saw the movie or the film.
Okay. Any idea how I can get a copy of it?
I don't know. Maybe you try to. I don't know.
Let me look while
Rosemary Furman. It's Furman. But let me tell you about Rosemary Furman. Stick on the line. Maybe you can add something to it. But this was probably 40 years ago. Rosemary Furman was just a legal secretary on Lem Turner Road in Jacksonville, Florida. And people back then, you had to have a lawyer, even if it was a simple divorce, any legal matter. If you wanted a name change, which takes 5 minutes to complete, you had to go through an attorney. And there were many people, as you know, that couldn't afford to hire a lawyer because the lawyers controlled all that. And Rosemary Furman was starting to do divorces for people. She wouldn't go to court for them, but she'd prepare the paperwork. If you had an uncontested divorce, you just sign the paperwork, go in front of the judge and get a divorce. Why do you have to have an attorney to do that? Cost you $1,000 when there's nothing to really argue about. So she started helping people in their legal matters. And then she was threatened, and she was being prosecuted by the state attorney's office for practicing law without a license, which is a felony. And they threatened to put Rosemary in jail for helping these people who could not afford an attorney and needed legal help. And so she was able to hire an attorney out of Washington, D.C., who was with the Public Citizens, who was a civil rights lawyer. And they took this all the way to the Supreme Court, and she ended up winning the case. Now in Duval County and throughout the state of Florida, you can go to the clerk's office and you can do simple divorces, simple name changes on your own without a lawyer. And so she, under the threat of going to jail, and I think she was arrested, but she didn't put her in jail. And now you have that right. And it was all because of Rosemary. And I knew her. She was a good friend because I lived on the north side. And this is right when I started practicing law, and she was in the news. She was on 60 Minutes, and she was all over the country. And I would go visit her, and people would be lined up into her little legal secretary office there, asking her to prepare simple deeds for them, uncontested divorces, name changes. And she did a lot of good, and she changed the legal system. She's almost like, she did what James did, just on a bigger scale.
Wow, I didn't know anything about her. Go ahead, Al.
Did you know Rosemary, Al?
Only what was on the news.
Yeah. Well, you're up in age like I am, because that's a long time ago.
That is correct.
And she's passed away. I know some of her family's still in town, but she's no longer with us, but she was something.
Yeah. And I appreciate you paying homage to her. Yeah. She was an unsung hero.
She was an unsung hero. She changed the legal system for the people of Florida.
Absolutely.
She took on the legal system. She took on, took on the Florida bar. She was sued. She was threatened with a criminal prosecution, but she hung in there and changed the system, where ordinary people who don't have money can still get some legal help.
Wow.
And you have come along, and look what you're doing for the people.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm no Rosemary Furman, believe me. threatened to lock her up, man.
Oh, man. Well,
I haven't risked that yet.
She
But,
sounds like my kind of fearless
she was
lady. I
something.
like her.
She was, back in her day, she was something. She was very intelligent. She took on the legal system, and I'm trying to remember the name of the attorney who wrote the brief. The Supreme Court brief to open, to win this case. I forgot his name. Alan Morrison. That was his name. You can Google his name. He's a legal giant legal giant. I mean, he was like a professor at Harvard, and all these people worked for free to help Rosemary, and it ended up working out.
You know, Al, I was looking online while you guys were speaking about Miss Rosemary, and I want you to go to the website, floridamemory.com. There they have information about Rosemary, and as well as photos and stuff you can download and purchase. And I believe if you reach out to floridamemory.com, you can find a way to get that documentary for yourself. You know, either watch it online or to be able to purchase it, because I know that you were wanting a copy. Does that help?
Hey, that helps, Sheifalika. And as I said once before, Eddie, you need to give this young lady a raise.
Yeah, talk to OKV. It's a Fortune 500 company, man. They're drowning in money.
Thank you so
Listen,
much.
man, we don't have air conditioning in the studio. They keep it off.
We have air conditioning. Sir, don't be lying about my studios. My studios are fine. Thank you, sir.
You don't want to drink the coffee either.
I made the coffee. Don't you say that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Al, for calling in. I learned something beautiful today. I didn't know about Rosemary, so thank you. I love learning about our history, especially the fearless men and women in Jacksonville, Florida. We are about to come up on a quick break right now, and thank you to Al so far. We've got some callers as well coming in. Our number is 855-765-1045. You're listening to Legal Live. We'll be right back after this quick break. All righty, welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. I'm your host, Sheifalika Botnager, and we have Eddie Farah here live in studio. We just had some amazing callers so far, but I know, Eddie, you mentioned you wanted to talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
So,
James brought up a good point. He reminded me of something, and listen, not everybody's a James who can take on a big company like that.
yeah, it's hard to do.
So there is a legal remedy. Now, if James had not been successful, I was going to suggest that there's another route to take. And in our office, we handle these claims under the Magnuson-Moss Act. It's a federal statute, federal law, that deals with any item you purchase that has a warranty. It could be a toaster. I wouldn't sue for a toaster, but I mean, anything that comes with a warranty, your car, your boat, your jet ski, your motorcycle, your RV. Basically, most of the cases we deal with are cars and RVs and boats and things of that nature. But it covers anything that has a warranty. And and I'm going to simplify the statute. Under the statute, if there is a warranty and you give the vendor 3 opportunities to repair, and they cannot repair the item, then you have a claim under that act, and you can sue to get your money. And we do this on a regular basis. You have to give them 3 repair attempts. Once you've exhausted those 3 repair attempts, they can't make it right, then you have a claim. So I was going to tell James, you gave him 3 times to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
You could sue him back. You could sue him for those solar panels, that $52,000. But he was able to resolve it. But it would apply to solar panels. It applies to anything with a warranty. Keep that in mind. Most of the stuff, again, we deal with are cars and boats and things of that nature. But it applies to anything that's under a warranty.
That's interesting. So even after, like, if you were to sue the insurance or for the replacement, and you lose, or that's when you can sue for
No. As long as you have you've got a car, you take it to the dealership. There's something wrong with the transmission or the air conditioner.
Right.
They try to fix it. Doesn't work. You get it back. Doesn't work. It still not working. You take it in a second time. Doesn't work. You take it in a third time. Still doesn't work. After 3 repair attempts, you have a claim under the Magnuson-Moss Act.
To the manufacturer of the product.
Yeah,
Got
the
it.
vendor,
Okay.
like the dealership, the manufacturer.
Okay.
And they have to look at it. You show them the warranty, you show them the repair attempts. It's not working, then you've got a claim. And that claim, 99% of those are resolved out of court because they got to pay under the law. And if you sue, you can also make them pay your attorney's fees. Most of these cases settle out of court, and the clients get money for that. So it's a very powerful statute, and a lot of people don't know about it. I think we're the only firm in town that handles these claims.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know of anybody else that does.
Figures.
We have a guy in our office, Josh Khalil, in our office. That's all he does. And he's been on the show before, and he's talked about it. We ought to bring him back one more time because he can give you all the ins and outs. But, it's very powerful, and it's a good law that helps people. But James, he does it himself.
Yeah, he won the...
He doesn't need the Magnuson Moss.
Yeah,
he is Magnuson Moss.
He is Magnuson Moss. There you go, James.
Whoever that was.
You have it on record now. Eddie Farah called you.
Yeah.
That's high praise coming from us. Well, that's really interesting. And, I have some questions. I know we have just a couple more minutes before the next break, but this is a new year, and there were some recent laws that have gone into effect and stuff. I know you do personal injury. Has anything changed in the world of auto insurance? And
not really on that side. We had that big shakeup earlier in the last year where we talked about it, about the homeowners claims and all that.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
They've chiseled away at your rights when it comes to that, in terms of making the insurance company pay your attorney's fees. That's gone now. So if you sue on a homeowner's, you sue under that statute, under that law, you got to pay your attorney out of your money, which doesn't make you whole, because if you get $100,000 to replace your roof, you got to pay the lawyer a contingency fee, and then you're still out of pocket.
Yeah.
You got some money, but not,
I see.
Not all of it. So that's really hurt. But right now, there's always an assault going on, and I'm sure this legislative session, they're going to try to chisel away some more. But we're going to try to, we won't back down either, just like James. We're going to fight back.
Yeah, I know. And that's part of the fight that many lawyers across the country in their own states in their own ways are continuing to do. They're fighting for us whether we realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Well, what else you got to talk about?
Well, let's get into, there's we've talked about this before. There's under Florida law, if you own a vehicle and you loan your vehicle out to someone, then you're responsible if someone causes an accident. Well, here was a situation where the father sold the car to his son for like $2,500, and he signed the title and everything like that. The kid got the insurance on the car. He had the keys. He had the owner's manual. He had everything, but he never went to the DMV to transfer the title to his name. So if you went down to the DMV, it still showed the father owned the vehicle. Well, lo and behold, as you would expect, the kid causes an accident. And so the person who was injured looks at the title and sees the father owns it. So he sues the father for the accident. And the father says, well, I sold the car to my son. And of course, the person who was injured say, well, it shows you're still the owner. I don't believe you, So anyway, they were able to show that under Florida law, there's a thing called beneficial interest. Even though you have not transferred the title to the new owner, if you can show you transferred beneficial interest to the purchaser, you can escape liability. And they were able to prove that. They showed that they gave him the keys, he had his own insurance, he had the owner's manual, he was driving it, the father didn't have control over it anymore, so the father was able to escape liability and get out of that lawsuit. So, you don't want to be in that situation. If you sell your car, you want to make sure they go to DMV and transfer the title, but you do have some protection in the event the person who purchases it never goes to DMV to transfer title.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. My father's actually probably, that's interesting. Beneficial transfer.
It's called beneficial interest. Even though legally the title hasn't been transferred, for all intents and purposes, you are the owner.
And that way, the liability's on me, not my parent or friend.
Right, because you have complete control of the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good to know.
Yep.
Well, we've got some calls coming in. I see Daniel in the production studio control room just busily answering the phones. But we are about to take a quick break. We have a few minutes left of our Legal Live show, brought to you by Farah Farah on 104.5 WOKV. Give us a call. Our number is 855-765-1045. Daniel's really got his job cut out for him today. We'll be right back after
That's
this
right,
quick
Dan. You
break.
got to work for a living sometimes.
Sometimes. Only on Saturdays. We'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. I'm Sheifalika, and I'm joined by Eddie Farah. We've got a caller on the line from Jacksonville Beach who has this whole condo situation to tell us about. John, what's going on, and how can we help you?
My story in the Reader's Digest version.
Okay,
I own a condominium. In Ponte Vedra Beach. During COVID, the board voted to turn one of the men's and women's bathrooms into a clubhouse bathroom for their management. It was a women's room, so I never used it. But one of the women asked me about it, and I tried to find out if there was a permit. I wrote the CAM, the Condo Association Management, and she said, whoever told you that we needed a permit was incorrect. Well, I ended up calling down to St. Johns County Building Code Enforcement. It did need a permit. And I said, that was ridiculous that it took me 5 months to figure this out. And he goes, well, if you want to get to the end of the story, file a complaint against the CAM, Condo Association Manager, with DBPR. I did that, and immediately the hackles went up from the board and the Condo Association Manager. They did the investigation and sent it up to Tallahassee. During that time, St. Johns County made them turn the women's room back into, or their newly minted management bathroom into a woman's room to comply with coding in St. Johns County. 2 months later, up in Tallahassee, the legal counsel said, this doesn't meet legal standard. We're dismissing the case. I didn't care because the women's room was back to being a women's room. Well, the board put out a letter that said 5 of us had filed the complaint, that we had made false and misleading statements, and that they would come after us for the legal fees for the DBPR case.
Okay. Now,
I'm not an expert, but those are pre-litigation legal fees.
Well,
and in DBPR, it says that they can't do that. So we had an attorney from Jack's Beach just write a letter and say, you can't assign pre-litigation fees without going to court.
Yeah, so they're trying to assess you the attorney's fees that cost them to defend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it, there was no. I got a public records request. There was no attorney assigned to it. The only arguing they did was with St. Johns County to not comply with the permitting process. So their response to that letter was to change the name of the legal fees and to send us a cease and desist letter citing harassing, it might have been defamatory and illegal conduct. So none of that applied to me. I didn't do anything harassing or anything, I think of myself as a normal guy.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing was I wrote and I said, could you tell me what the false and misleading statements were? Because that's not what DBPR said. And I said, could you cite what the harassing, defamatory, and illegal conduct was? And their response was just, they never respond. They just add legal fees. So it's up to $2,000.
I mean, have you received a letter from them demanding that money?
Yes, every month they add it on.
When they add on to your assessment?
They add legal fees to the assessment to get me in compliance with sections 25B and D.
Well,
and I've said,
are they assessing you personally for that money, or everybody in the complex?
No. Just the 5 of us who filed the DBPR complaint.
All right. So they're assessing you your 20% of the 2,000, right?
Well, no. The original legal fees were $150 a person. But my point there was I didn't do anything wrong. DBPR says they can't do that. So I'd spend $150 not to pay the $170. And then their response was to have a lawyer do this, write the responses to us. The original, what would have been $175, is up to almost $2,000 per person.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
And they've never said how I'm out of compliance with sections 25B and D.
Yeah. You have to have your condo documents looked at by a lawyer, a lawyer that specializes in HOAs. I know somebody who does that. You can go through the Jack's Bar Association, and they'll find you somebody. But obviously, you have to read the HOA documents. It's a contract. You signed it.
Oh, I know. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Whatever's in there, I mean, I don't know if there's a provision there that says if you cause us unreasonable litigation expense, you got to pay the lawyer. I mean, there's probably something in that like that because those things are written to protect the home HOA, not you. I mean, there's probably something that holds you responsible for legal fees they incur. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying there's probably something you agree to. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if what you did fits within the parameters of what's required. Have you had a lawyer look at it?
Well, one of the people paid the fee, and then they got more legal fees added onto them.
No, but have you had? Has anybody had a lawyer look at the condo documents to see if you're responsible for the money?
We have a retired probate lawyer here, and she said that there's nothing in there.
That's not what you need. You need an HOA lawyer. You need a guy who does. Probate lawyer's not going to know the answer to that. I mean, there are lawyers in town that just deal with condo associations and HOAs.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what I would suggest is that if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can go through the Jacksonville Bar Association. They have an attorney referral service where you can tell them, I want a condo association lawyer, and you can talk to an attorney for $50 for 30 minutes for $50.
Okay.
I would start
then
with
it's going to be more. They're going to have to read the documents.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but they can look at them probably right there with you and give you an answer in 30 minutes because that's all these guys do. But I mean, they're using something in the condo documents that allows them to come after you for the money. Because I know, and you know this, anybody that's in a condo association, if you don't comply with what's in the condo documents and they got to sue you, you got to pay their attorney's fees. There are lawyers in this town that all they do is sue tenants on these condo documents. And if they sue you for $50 and their attorney's fee is $3,000, you got to pay them the $3,000 over a $50 bill. So whatever the attorney charges, they're going to come after you for that money, regardless of what the damage is. It could be over $100 trash can. If they got to sue you for it and the attorney charges the condo association $3,000, you got to pay the $3,000.
Oh, okay. Well, in the condo docs, it says if you go to buy, is it arbitration or the winner
arbitration?
Pays,
the winner pays. Yeah, the loser pays.
The loser pays, and I'm like, and I said, I sent them a letter, and I said, hey, I'm not, they said we want to mitigate legal fees. I said, here's my offer, nothing, and no late fees, and I'll accept an apology. And I said, if you want to take this to legal action, let's do it.
Yeah, they may do that. They may file a collection.
Their response was to add another $250 legal fees, and no response to my letter.
Because there are lawyers that make a living doing this. I mean,
I know.
That's all they do. They just sue tenants, and they get money from them. And so,
I'm willing to take the suit. But they aren't suing. They aren't doing anything.
Yeah, but they may sue. They may. I mean, you don't know. Right now, they have no I mean, I don't know if they can. You're telling me they're enforcing it on your condo fees. They're adding it to your fees right now.
And four
which
people.
Means a lien against your. If you don't pay it, it's a lien against your condo. If you sell it, somebody's gonna have to pay it with interest.
Oh, I know. But the thing is, they've suspended the rights of 4 people so far, not myself, and we all did the same thing. I said, hey, if you think you're going to suspend me, that's,
suspend you
you're
from
taking
what?
action against me. Using the gym, the pool, for my tenants, actually. And I said, if you think that I've done something wrong, I'm taking
they can
to court.
Suspend you from using the amenities? I don't think so. They can sue you for money. They cannot sue you they can't prevent you from using the amenities. We're going to tell you not
they
to use
did. They've already done it to 4 people.
Wow. I've never seen anything. I don't do that kind of work. I've never heard of anybody be in that situation. I'm a personal injury guy, and I've run into friends of mine, but I've never heard of them saying you can't use the amenities. I mean, you're a part.
Oh yeah, they did it. They did it to 4 people so far.
Wow.
So
that's legal.
And I knew you. I knew you said you were a personal injury, but I thought,
you need to have a lawyer look at that.
Might as well ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, John.
John, I'd like to hear back on that.
Yeah,
if you talk to a lawyer and they tell you they can keep you out of the gym, I want to hear about that.
Well,
Okay.
I appreciate your call. This is actually a complex issue. Sounds like they're kind of pulling some power plays with you, John.
They have the.
And if you want
I
to
know.
contact the Jack's Bar Association, that number is 904-399-4486.
And if you
Stay
can't-
on the line
and if
and
they
let
won't
our
help
producer.
you, call me. I got a lawyer that knows that stuff. He'll talk to you.
Right.
It won't be
that's-
$50, but he'll talk
It might
to
not be $50. Start with the Jack's Bar Association and stay on the line to let Daniel take your number. We've just hit 1 o'clock. We're out of time today, but we had a fantabulous time talking to James, Chris, Al, and John. Thank you all for listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV. We'll be back again next week.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.